Hello everyone, I all hope you had a very wonderful, blessed day and a very great evening and a very great evening and a very great morning as well. Sorry guys for exactly shooting this late. I was exactly busy working universe as well, trying to exactly give it some fresh air as well in the meantime. And I was also busy writing new characters for my new book and also for my old book as well. But despite that, guys, I'm very grateful for your support in watching and in viewing my episodes. It gratefully, completely means a lot to me, as in literally means a lot to me, no matter what. And for those of you who are gratefully watching shorts and everything else, I'm truly grateful for that as well, guys, in viewing and watching my episodes as well. Superly grateful for that. So in order for those of you guys who will be able to receiving this video, you'll only receive the long video on a Monday, and for those of you who are watching shorts, you'll only receive the shorts video today. So yeah, let's get to it. On today's episode, we're to speak about elderly Granny, who is a super villain and a high-ranking official in Dark Master's Empire. In his conquest to conquer known worlds, planets, and civilization, and including planet Earth as well, for many centuries and for many years. She's a high-ranking member of two secret societies, the Order of the Five and Sacred Five as well, helping those two ancient secret societies with their respective goal, and with their respective conquest as well, by any means necessary. Despite that, guys, elderly Granny is very ruthless and very powerful, and she's very ambitious with her goals and with her missions as well. So let's get right into it. In elderly Granny's early life, she was Dark Master's high-ranking official in his empire, where she began studying and learning much about the Shadow Clan, with about their greatest powers and about their greatest abilities in order to manipulating shadow and power, and great powers in conjuring powerful, dark, and sinister illusions as well. She was so fixated and so obsessed with the power of how the Shadow Clan began to manipulate the power of shadows and the power to create dark and invincible and greater illusions. At that time, Adelaide Granny was at the sacred archives within Dark Master's Empire's kingdom, able to learn more about the greater and understanding of these powerful dark illusions and greater power within the following centuries. Over time, she went straight to Dark Master and completely asked her Lord to go straightly to planet Earth in order for her to advance his own plans, his own greater plans, and as well as his greater goal in a process. Despite this, Dark Master exactly agreed with Adelaide Granny that she may go to planet Earth, but she also has to remember that he has a partner within planet Earth known as Icewall, who is an associate and a founder and a leader of Sacred Five, a secretive and deadly organization and a society with a dedication and goal in freezing worlds and destroying them and in conquering them in the process. Despite that, Adelaide Granny understood the partnership between Icewall and Dark Master, and she decided that it's best that she becomes a high-ranking member of the secret society and as well of another ancient secret society, such as known as the Order of the Five as well. And Dark Master completely agreed that Adelaide Granny has to keep her informed of everything she's planning and everything else she's willing to do. And Adelaide Granny completely agreed with that, and that is exactly what she's willing to do as well, by any means necessary. Over the following years, Adelaide Granny arrived on planet Earth and began studying her company and her foundational company on planet Earth, such as Adelaide Foundation Company, which is based on helping old women and young youths and children to fulfill their imaginations and their goals and their businesses as well. During which, at that time, she already has her own plans to fulfill, her own sinister plans to fulfill with her master's goals and his will to fulfill in conquering and enslaving planet Earth throughout the event of creating the company and also the foundation of the company as well within the perimeter as well. On the 29th of January, Adelaide Granny met up with Doc Joe and able to tell him that the plans and the preparations have fully come into a full swing and that everything else is going according to order. Dark Joe exactly told Elodie Granny that the will of Dark Master must come to pass and it must bear fruit by any means necessary. Despite of the long-term goals and plans, it must successfully bear fruit. And Elodie Granny exactly agreed with that, stating to him that she has a perfect plan in order for that to take place as well. On the 19th of February, when the Universal Heroes have disappeared, when rumors of the Universal Heroes have disappeared throughout the sacred universe and everything else, was created another powerful power vacuum within the Shadow Empire, forcing up the Shadow Empire warlord and commander to secretly fighting for the Shadow Empire throne, and also the Shadow Empire that's under the current leadership of another powerful, formidable supervillain known as Red Bolt, who is a leader and a founder of another ancient secret society known as the Dark Order, that's been manipulating and controlling wars, and that's been manipulating and controlling secretive galactic wars and events in order for them to become and remain the sole rulers of the universe. And also that's quietly at war with the Star Universe and with the Star Prince and with the Star Witch Queen that are fighting for sole control over the Star Universes as well. Despite that, Adelaide Granny sensed a very powerful opportunity within the Universal Hero's disappearance, and she decided to make her presence known throughout humanity. On the 9th of March, Adelaide Granny attended a live TV show with Mr. Good, who's a very good human being, and a very much also a powerful associate of Dark Master, and as well the Order of the Five, and as well of Lord Shadowjack and Winter King as well. Despite that, Mr. Shaw was able to ask Adelaide Granny about her business company and everything else, and how it's been benefiting the rest of humankind and everything else. Adelaide Granny told Mr. Shaw that all she's doing is to help mankind and the rest of the old women and children to reach out their imaginations and their greatest dreams, in order for them to live out their greatest dreams and imaginations, for them to carry out their greatest dreams and imaginations, for them to fulfill their destiny and their rightful places, despite what the United Heroes are exactly saying about her. And Mr. Good was very quietly good in asking her questions and everything and all of that as well. On the 15th of March, Adelaide Granny met up with the members of Sacred Five as Icewell began to secretly introduce her to the members of Sacred Five, and they were all quietly skeptical as Adelaide Granny reassured the members of Sacred Five that everything she does will be the benefit of the organization and will be the benefit of her master known as Dark Master. And Icewell was very much uneasy with Adelaide Granny's reassurance and also wording as well, despite not trusting her completely fully, as he exactly told the other members of Sacred Five that they will have to keep an eye on their new member as well. On the 19th of April, Adelaide Granny completely began with her secretive project, as she met up with the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders within her bases of operation, where the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders gave her all the destructive technology and components, and the Shadow Empire warlord and commanders told her that they will exactly continue to remain allies of Sacred Five and also remaining allies of Dark Master. In return, the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders asked to make sure that Dark Master continues to helping them expanding their empire and their control over the known worlds and over the known planets. And Adelaide Granny reassured the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders that is exactly what she's willing to do by any means necessary. On the 20th of May, Adelaide Granny attended another live feed show with Mr. Show, as was able to tell him that the United Heroes have done a very much of a bad job in trying to find these assassins and these villains who are trying to take down humanity and who are trying to control. And she stated that justice will be delivered and served by Adelaide Granny herself, and that she will enforce the law of justice herself, even if it means by taking the United Heroes straightly to the Supreme Court. And Mr. Shaw was very, very surprised and very, very quietly remarkable, as he stated that this conclusion will lead to an all-out battle. And Adelaide Granny told Mr. Shaw an all-out battle is what she's willing to do by any means necessary. On the 20th of June, Adelaide Granny secretly met up with the Shadow Empire warlords on an underground cave where they were able to speak about their plans and their goals. As the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders told her that there's a new powerful Lord of Magic known as Lord Clay and Lord Jet, who are very, very powerful and immortal, who have powerful associates and deadly organizations and deadly shadowy international criminal organizations known as the Order of Power and known as the Order of Death, which are the most powerful ancient secret societies that ever lived and ever existed in ancient times, and warned Adelaide Granny to never underestimate Lord Jet and Lord Clay, who are the founders and leaders of the organizations and of the ancient secret societies as well. And Adelaide Granny exactly told the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders that is what she will not be intending to do, because she has her own plans and her own goals as well, in order to make sure that Dark Master's will bears fruit by any means necessary as well. On the on the 19th on the 19th of July, Adelaide Granny began returning back to her former bases of her headquarters, where she began studying everything else within the computers and within the laboratory, and able to know more about the world heroes' reputation throughout the sacred world, and about the rest and about how they're saving humanity and the rest of humanity. And she began to learn that the world heroes are posing a greater threat to her future plans and to the future plans of her master, to the future plans of her master, of his master's goals, and also of his conquests, realizing that the world heroes have to be effectively removed out of the way, meaning completely effectively removed out of the way, meaning they have to be temporarily removed out of the way, meaning by personally getting rid of them, literally. On the 20th of August, Adelaide Granny convened with the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders, as she told them that she has a very, very interesting assignment for them that she needs for them to heavily fulfill. The Shadow Empire warlord questions Adelaide Granny exactly what would be this assignment and what they will be possibly gaining from it. Adelaide Granny told them that she'll be able to supply them more worlds and more planets that are under her sole control, that are under her secret control, and that are still under the control of the original Shadow Empire, now that the Dark Order has manipulated and controlled the original Shadow Empire, and that the new Lord of Magic has reformed his new empire and his new secret society that existed many, many centuries ago, and that she's willing to make sure that they can benefit from that as well. And the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders agreed to pull off this one last favor for Adelaide Granny as well. On the 9th of September, the Shadow Empire warlords met up with Adelaide Granny on a very much of an ancient crystal cave, where they were able to appear in holograms, telling Adelaide Granny that the forces and the assassins have been apprehended during the attack by trying to capture the world heroes and apprehend them, and that the plan successfully failed. And many of the other members of the Shadow Empire warlords, who are very, very fiercely loyal to Adelaide Granny and also to Dark Master, have been successfully apprehended and sentenced directly into the astral prison. Adelaide Granny was very, 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 very furious with this, and very, very not happy with this. Stated to her that the world heroes are posing as a greater threat. She told the Shadow Empire warlords that they deal and the pact still remains intact, and that he has to go find more Shadow Empire warlords who are willing to join forces with her, which could benefit her and also her master in numerous ways. As the Shadow Empire warlord agreed that they can never underestimate the world heroes' abilities or any of their powers, especially in thwarting their plans and the operation as well. On the 19th of September, Adelaide Granny convened with the members of the Order of the Five on an ancient crystal dark temple, where she began to reassure the members of the Order of the Five that everything else will go according to plan, and that the plan has been put in place in order to deal with these universal heroes and with the world heroes, with the fire heroes, the universal defending heroes, the universal magic heroes, and any of those heroes who pose a threat to their goals and also to their plans, that the plan has been put in place in action, and that everything else is ready to take place in action, as she assured the members of the Order of the Five. Master Shadow and Queen and the goddess of life were very much quietly reassured of that, as they believed Elderly Granny's word, and also as a reassurance as well throughout the meeting and throughout the convening of the meeting as well. On the 20th of October, Adelaide Granny hooked up a powerful dog hologram of Dog Master, as she told Dog Master that everything else has been quietly put in place and that she's ready to put the final pieces in action in order to remove and dispose of the loose ends. Dog Master told Adelaide Granny to make a powerful, formidable alliance with an ancient dog witch known as Witchcaster. Adelaide Granny began to question Dog Master's request in stating to him what would Dogmaster gain from this ancient alliance with the most powerful dog witch. Dogmaster exactly told her that there's more to gain by learning everything else about the dog powers and about the dog energy spell powers. And Adelaide Granny systematically agreed to that as well. On the 19th of November, Adelaide Granny secretly met up with Witchcaster on her ancient central headquarters of her dog temple, where she told them that they have to join forces for their common goal and also for their common interests, which could benefit them in numerous ways. Witchcaster exactly told Adelaide Granny that she accepts the terms of the agreement and she accepts the terms of the deal as long as she are able to benefit, and she will supply her with all the knowledge and all the intelligence on the dark energy spell ultimate power and on its recent development and everything else, and that her spies and her forces will be supplied to Dogmaster's empire and to the rest of his forces. And Adelaide Granny was very reassured, as she also reassured Witchcaster that the deal will also benefit her in numerous ways, and that she'll also make sure that her forces and the rest of associates remain in power as well, despite that. On the 19th of December, Adelaide Granny reassured the members of Sacred Five that the plans have been put in place, in a video conference, and exactly reassured them that everything else is going according to plan, the way it's supposed to be, and that taking down the world heroes will be our top priority. And I saw begin to question if Adelaide Granny is determined or quietly not successfully determined as well. On the 19th of January, the world heroes literally stormed into Adelaide Granny's bases of operation and completely fought up against her, as she proving to be too powerful, and she completely activated her devices and able to plunge the world heroes in a catatonic state of pain and misery until the United Heroes intervene and the Universal Defending Heroes intervene and literally destroyed her devices and everything else before Adelaide Granny can teleport herself. Before Adelaide Granny can actually teleport herself, Warboy told Adelaide Granny that she should blame the Dark King for exactly tipping them off and by giving them the coordinates to her bases of operation. And she teleported with anger and furious as she left her home base. On the 20th of January, Adelaide Granny returned back to the central headquarters of Dark Master's Empire's throne room and bowed to him and apologized for her failure and everything else, as she told him that the only reason for her greatest failures and everything else, because the main villain and the main competitor was quietly behind this, was the Dark King, who is a founder and a leader of another ancient secret society known as the Founders. And Dark Master was not very pleased with this interference or any of this interference that literally thwarted his sacred dark galactic plans for conquering planet Earth and to rule the rest of the known universe and the sacred universe in the process as well. Not successfully pleased at all, not even at all. On the 20th of February, Adelaide Granny completely met up with the Shadow Empire warlords and convened with them beneath the secret laboratory of Dark Master's throne room and told them that the plans have been put in place and that everything else is set the way it's supposed to be, meaning that it's time for them to take their rightful places and make sure that their factions gain the most power and gain the most allegiances throughout the empire, and making sure that Red Bolt's reign becomes to an end. And the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders successfully agreed that they'll be the ones to sit on the Shadow Empire throne in order to dethrone and overrule and remove Red Bolt and the Dark Order from power and from the control of the original Shadow Empire. And Adelaide Granny agreed that the Dark Master will control the Shadow Empire from behind the scenes, and that his forces and his high-ranking officials will make sure that the controlling of the Shadow Empire now falls to the one of the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders as well. And the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders were successfully pleased. On the 1st of March, Adderley Granny completely bowed down to Dark Master within his central headquarters of his throne room and told him about the plans and preparations that have been set, meaning that everything else is ready for it to take place. And Dark Master was completely very happy and completely satisfied with this, as in literally satisfied with this. Despite this, guys, Adderley Granny is very powerful, very ruthless, very deadly, very ambitious, and very, very intelligent, with the skill and the ability to study so much more about the Shadow Clan's power and about the ability, knowing more that they still exist, that the descendants of the Shadow Clan still exist and they're still actively alive. She's so obsessed about their power in controlling and manipulating the power of shadows and the power of creating powerful, dark, and psychic illusions at will, and that she's willing to do whatever it takes to find them and making sure that they join forces with Dark Master, or rather to align with them in order for them to aid her on her respective goals and conquests. Despite this, Adderley Granny is very devoted to Dark Master and very loyal to Dark Master, willing to make sure that his plans come first and then willing to bear fruit, despite her own plans to making sure that her reign on planet Earth and in controlling and conquering planet Earth remains the same, and the objective remains the same as ever before, even in forming powerful secretive alliances with ancient groups of supervillains such as Sacred Five and the Order of the Five, in order to aid them on their respective conquests and the respective goals. Despite this, she'll utilize the resources of her associates and also the associates of the Shadow Empire warlord to make sure that her ultimate plan and her ultimate goal is set in motion, and that Dark Master's reign remains supreme and remains untouchable and as well indestructible. She's very fearless and very loyal and very committed and devoted, very fanatically devoted to Dark Master, willing to make sure that his main objective in conquering the known universe and the sacred world comes to bear fruit. She learns that to never underestimate the world hero's abilities in thwarting the operations and her plans as well. And she learns from a great failure that to never take them lightly. For many years and for many centuries, Adderley Granny has been studying and pursuing the secrets of nature and the secrets of immortality for her own use in order to become immortal and more powerful. She's a deadly and dangerous high-ranking official with a very clever and deadly dangerous mind, and very evil and very cruel in nature and ruthless in nature. She will show no mercy to our enemies, to show no mercy to her enemies or to her foes, especially to the world heroes and to the universal heroes and to the universal defending heroes, as she learned that they can never be underestimated and never taken lightly again. She will do whatever it takes to make sure Dark Master's will bears fruit and that his goals come first, even if it means by stripping down with the Shadow Empire's power and control over other worlds and over other civilizations, in making sure that the Four Nation Hunters die and be annihilated at the extinction goal, by making sure that the new Lord of Magic remains in power and in control, which could benefit Dark Master, and by removing the Universal Prince and the Founders and the Order of the Five out of power, and by dismantling them completely, which her Lord and Master will benefit from that. She's very ruthless, cruel, intelligent. She has greater superpowers and super speed and invulnerability and super hearing, super hearing and super strength and super speed. She possesses a powerful wand and a stick that grants her the ability of manipulating dark matter and dark energy and at will. And she's a very powerful, ancient, dark, mythical witch that's she's part hybrid, she's part human and part witch and part alien, makes her a hybrid of the species, and she's very, very, very immortal and extremely intelligent, not meant to be underestimated. She'll do whatever it takes to make sure Dark Master's empire bears to conquer the rest of the known universe and the rest of the sacred universe in a process, as long as his dreams and goals and his grand vision to enslaving humanity and the sacred world bears fruit in the process. She's very intelligent, as she's proven to use her intelligence and her information source in forming formidable ancient alliances with the Shadow Empire warlords in order to aid them with their respective conquests and goals to make sure that they also remain in power, which could benefit her and her master as well in many ways. Despite this, she maintains her basis of operations, such as a secret laboratory within Dark Master's ancient kingdom, within Dark Master's dark world and planet, and central headquarters, where she can exactly study and learn more about everything else. And she uses the ancient ruins of the Dark Crystal Cave in order to convene and meet and discuss with the Shadow Empire warlords. And she uses her central headquarters within Dark Master's Empire's kingdom as her basis of operation and her central headquarters of a laboratory where she can study to unlocking the secrets of shadow energy and light energy at will. She even formed a powerful, formidable alliance with a powerful ancient dark witch known as Witchcaster in order to aid her with their respective goals and conquests as well, which could benefit her as well and benefit her master as well in a process. She's very cruel and extremely ruthless and very ambitious, intelligent, cunning, clever, possesses a stick of a staff which she uses to mobilize her dark energy and power at will, which keeps her immortality rate very strong. She's part superhuman, part witch, part alien, and part supernatural. She's like a hybrid of the species and very, very dangerous one. According to Animal Boy, Elderly Granny is very dangerous and very deadly, very, very powerful foe. She's a mysterious being, a very powerful, high-ranking official in Dark Master's empire, and her history throughout the sacred world is unknown. She keeps her history to herself, and she managed to erase all of her history throughout the rest of sacred existence for eternity in order to make sure Dark Master's empire rules from the shadows and from behind the scenes of the chaos of the war and of the chaos of the sacred galactic war and conflicts, which he could benefit by conquering the worlds and the planets and the other magical worlds and dimensions in the process. And as long as he benefits from the extinction of the supernatural alien superhumans that the new Lord of Magic and the original Lord of Magic were trying to wipe out, which he could benefit and rule from the extinction of the species and from the other races. He believes that he is the destined Lord and Master to rule the sacred world and the sacred universe and planet Earth. And she's willing to do whatever it takes to make sure Dark Master remains in power and in control over the sacred galactic war by any means necessary. She's very ruthless, dangerous, naive, and very evil, and very sadistically cruel, and very, very powerful, not meant to be underestimated. She may seem old and defenseless, but she's very evil and very dangerous, not meant to be taken lightly. And according to the Formation Hunter database, Elderly Granny is a mysterious threat and a mysterious foe who is never ever been heard of or seen of throughout the rest of sacred history. She is dangerous and deadly. Her history and her origins are completely unknown because she belongs to the Empire, because she belongs to the Empire of Dark Master. She's one of Dark Master's creatures and beings who have been liberated from other worlds, and she serves him frankly, and she's completely devoted to him, no matter what. She's very ruthless, cruel, twisted, and very, very, very powerful and dangerous and deadly. Well, that's it for today, guys. You'll see this episode uploaded on Monday. I have a bit of a problem trying to upload it on Friday. So that's it. For those of you guys who are watching shorts, you'll receive the shorts of the video. And I all hope you have a blessed and wonderful, great day. And have a great weekend and enjoy yourself. I'll see you on Monday as well. Take care and have fun. Thank you for your support. Have a blessed, great weekend. May God bless you all. Bye.